First off, I feel like this is going to be a very big, momentous month, and I feel it is like that for all the air signs. I'm getting repeats in cards, in themes and, energies. I did the Aquarius reading, and I feel like it's coming up in this reading as well. Haven't done Libra yet, but we'll see. What I'm feeling as well is, once again, we're talking about the sun and the moon. This is the way that other people see us, the exterior, the veneer, the things that are tangible, the things that are very apparent when they physically see us. Okay. They see you as someone who's very successful, have a tremendous amount of wealth, happy-go-lucky, carefree, optimistic, really fun and exciting and just amazing to be around. Okay. So you exude a lot of confidence, and then on paper or in person, you look like you're very determined. You look like you run the show. You make the executive decisions. You're a force to be reckoned with. And you're so disciplined and you're so like driven and motivated and, to succeed. That's the way that other people see you. And you are all of these things. You are all of these things as well. So on the surface, this is what it is. But then beneath the surface, what I have here is the moon in the reverse position. And I feel like it's almost, the sun and the moon right on top of each other in perfect alignment. And it just seems as if, the professional life, everything's going really well. But emotionally, something is bothering you. Something is missing. And it could even be that sense of, where's my tribe? Where are my people? Where is that one person that can, complete me? As a sign of duality, like you and the Piscean people, you want that strength in numbers. You want that person that telepathically you can communicate with, kind of like the twin, the alter ego, or the person that just like instinctively just gets you. You don't have to say more than like, in 10 words or less. They just get you. You don't have to over-explain. You don't have to argue. You don't have to school them on, what you're thinking. You don't have to worry that they're going to judge you. You don't have to worry that they're going to treat you, like super nice to your face and then stab you in the back. So you're looking for that kindred soul connection, that soulmate. And I feel for many of you, it can feel, as the sign of duality, it can feel very empty and lackluster when the other person's not in the picture. So what I feel is there is somebody here that is in your life that you feel this way with. You have this perfect affinity with. But for whatever reason, there might be some things. It could be your professional life that's preventing you from coming together. You're kind of conscious about, how is this going to look professionally? Is this going to, hinder my progress professionally? If I get involved with them, is that going to really hurt my chances? So I see many of you doing some deep re-examination or some deep, heavy thinking. What do I do? On the one hand, there's this really strong connection. This person just gets me. But on the other hand, I can't get involved because of social, cultural expectations as well. So what are you going to do? What are you going to, which side are you going to steer towards? Are you going to do what's socially expected of you out in the professional public space? Or do you follow your heart here? So there is this major, major dichotomy between what is expected of you versus what you want. And for those of you, honestly, who are really, really successful, you've got money in the bank, you've got timeshares, you've got a house, property built up, children even, possibly even a happy marriage. I feel it's almost like you've done everything by the book in order to get all of these things. And then you just realize that, what am I doing with all of these things when I am not emotionally fulfilled? I was, you know, misled to believe that this would make me happy. All the public accolades, the public success, and all the, you know, the public expectations or the social expectations. But deep down, are you completely emotionally happy with everything that you have? Or do you want something a little bit more? And I feel as if there is a big, big decision here when it comes to, do we continue on the same path? Or do we need to make a detour to kind of realign ourselves with what it is that we feel is connecting to us and what it is that we feel will bring us a lot more, you know, contentment. Honestly, what I feel here is I feel like you've got some secrets, things that you're holding in, you're not telling anybody about. And I feel for many of you, you're lining up some type of a career move, like a major, major big move. There might have been an offer, somebody telling you, hey, come work with us, come join us, come be a part of our team, come collaborate with us. I'm giving you this opportunity so you can scrap everything that you have behind. Wherever you are, you're very, very, very content. You're very content. And you're very visible as well. But I feel like you would, you know, forsake all of that in order to do something that makes you really, really happy. And so you might be, you know, looking at or really considering a job offer. You might also be considering collaborating with somebody. And I would urge you to really look carefully, read between the lines, okay? I feel that you've gotten where you are, you know, in terms of professional successes on your own. And so if somebody is getting involved with you and they're trying to ride your coattails, you want to be a little bit careful, because this is all about intuition. This is all about, what do you know? What are the concrete actions? What are the patterns of behavior that you're able to decipher from the other people? Are they a little bit, you know, opportunistic, grabbing onto social connections or whatever it is that's thrown their way? Do they have a history of being very sneaky and very dubious and very amoral and you know, problematic? Can you trust them? So I feel like you have to kind of be careful about not, you know, not getting involved in something just because on the surface it looks nice, or you have a very special affinity towards somebody. Soul connections, honestly, we have many soulmates. Soul connections, I feel they can feel very out of this world. They can feel very, very strong. They have this magnetic pull. And, you know, deep down, you guys are hopeless romantics. So you're always scanning the horizon to find that soulmate. Just don't be duped. Okay, just don't be duped that your need to connect is so great that you overlook reason. Okay, so especially if you're dealing with someone who has a track record, that's not so great. And especially if you're dealing with somebody who has a history of being very opportunistic, of being very gossipy, of being very, very like vocal and just uncooperative. And especially vocal when they are uncooperative. So these are considerations that you have to take into account when you're trying to, you know, decide whether or not it's a good time to start a new venture. With this High Priestess situation here, I feel for many of you, it's kind of like mum's the word. There are things here that you're just handling on your own. You're not really wanting to collaborate with other people. You're not telling other people. You want to take care of on your own, which is very, very admirable. But the people around you, you're keeping them in the dark, and that kind of scares them. So they're going to be picking and prying for answers because they want to be let in. They want to be, you know, kind of like let into your inner sanctum so that they can understand what you're trying to do or what you're trying to achieve. I feel for many of you here, we have a water sign, first of all. And the water sign, this is a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. The Hangman deals with a sacrifice, okay? This can be a sacrifice for the greater good or the sacrifice to appease another person. Many of you are involved here with a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And this is a relationship where I feel like, as an air sign dealing with a water sign, I feel like they're making very great emotional demands on you. They could also be very emotionally like kind of up and down as well. When you're with them, they feel very secure. And then when you're out of the picture, they feel very insecure. And so the majority of the time you're spent, trying to figure out how to appease them, how to stabilize them, how to reassure them. So the relationship is um, all about expending a lot of energy to calibrate this person. And it doesn't really leave much room for you to grow professionally. It doesn't leave much energy and resources left for you to develop on your own. And so you have this person that is really caring. And I feel as well, if this is not a love relationship, it's somebody within your family unit that you really care for that might be undergoing some type of health issues, or they are affected by some health issues of other people that they care about, and they're not operating at their best for this month. So there's like heavy dealings with this water sign, and it just seems to me as if there are things that you're not able to tell them. There are things that you're trying to help them with, and I feel like it's becoming a big burden on you, and you're not able to voice and verbalize the fact that, I'm a little overwhelmed. I don't know what else I can do. Can you take care of yourself? I just feel like it's a situation where emotionally it's a little bit too overwhelming. It's a little bit too heavy and too overwhelming, and I feel that it's making you uncomfortable. I have as well, wow, yeah, water signs. But let me talk about this. Not seeing eye to eye with your partner. Not seeing eye to eye with your partner. One person wants to be intimate. The other person is busy. One person is like feeling amorous, and the other person is like dealing with the kids, for example. So it's like the timing's really off. And this can be a very, very good connection, assuming both people are on the same page and looking at each other and having the time to really invest in each other. But when it's like this, it's almost like night and day. You might be geographically separated from your partner, and there is still there's lingering, or there's some type of a temptation in the interim. Okay, so it's almost like two people involved here. And if you're physically separated from your partner in some way, there might be a third party coming into the picture. I'm also sensing as well, some of you might be dealing with this earth sign here, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And this can be the person that is also emotionally very, very distraught. They're emotionally unstable. They're very concerned. They're very worried. The things that they are worried about, as is the nature of the King of Pentacles, they're worried about their public image. They're worried about their finances. They're worried about, their livelihood and the really superficial things that you don't think really matters in the long run. So you're dealing with somebody like that, and I feel like they're looking for answers, and they've got you a little bit emotionally just out of sorts. Okay, it's like you have to answer to this person, and they're relentless. They don't really they don't really take no for an answer. They're relentless, and if it's personally affecting their financial stature or their professional image, they're not going to take no for an answer. They're going to be very pushy about, getting an answer out of you. And I also feel as well, it's a third party coming between a couple. Third party coming between a couple. So you've got a lot of things that you're keeping hidden for this month. And I also feel as if the people that you feel like you can confide in, they're not there. Okay? And I almost sense like who do I trust? Who can I trust? Who do I trust? The sevens are very spiritual number. First of all, this is like, the things that you can physically see. And then this Seven of Swords here deals with paranoia. Things that are going behind the scene, possibly things happening behind your back that you're not really aware of. Excuse me. And so there's a lot of things here about, things that are under the radar, things that are under the current, not knowing who to trust, not knowing who to confide in. But at the same time, having a lot of things that you wish you could get off your chest, that you wish you could, take back, that you wish you could run by another person, wanting a person to bounce ideas off of, but not knowing who, when, or with whom it's safe to do so in your environment. So this is a very uncomfortable reading, Geminis. And I wish I had like a little bit more of a celebratory energy for you guys, because, just for your birthday time. But I feel as if you've got a lot of, it's like you're in this little fishbowl and everybody's looking at you. And you're very highly visible, very, very visible. And you're also, on display, and it can feel very uncomfortable. So what you do, what you decide to do, whatever course of action you take, you have to be extra careful about, backlash, about misinterpretation, about people taking what you say out of context, about defending yourself as well, and knowing when to fight a battle and when to, not make something into a battle. So it's like pick your battles, but at the same time, it can feel very, very uncomfortable. So what I feel here overall is needing to get things off your chest. You know who your friends are. You know who you can trust. And I feel like you have this intuitive sense of knowing that something is right for you or who is right for you. And those are the people that you're going to need to confide in. The other thing I'm sensing as well, I feel like someone is leaving the workplace. Someone that you can confide in or you really, really trust is leaving the workplace, okay? And I'm seeing it here with this moon card. So professional life, something is gone. Something that brings you a lot of emotional stability is someone is leaving the workplace. And then I feel more people are coming in. So, there's somebody else that you're making a connection with. And then on top of that, what we have here as well is breaking free from temptation in things that are no longer, not letting these things hold you back. Gaining a victory over something, a triumph, possibly over our baser desires, and walking away from that. And whatever that has kept you very, very stuck. And I feel like, this deals with just temptation. This deals with negative influences. People influence you in a negative way. Or even, the scramble for wealth and resources and money, where you kind of fell astray, where you kind of, you felt like someone was making promises that you would make this much, and then you waited and waited and waited for it to come to fruition, and then they led you astray. So this is the month where you definitely can free yourself from these restrictions. I do see a lot of temptation here, okay? Third-party influences, temptation from another person. And there's definitely some very strong soul connections here. Soul connections are not always romantic connections. They can be, but if you're mistaking the soul connections for purely, like physical, sexual, romantic connections, then you would, go through life like messing up those relationships if you are in other relationships. So soul connections are there because they kind of resonate with you on a past life level. But the past life energy, put that aside, cast it aside. You're here with each other to kind of connect and understand each other and kind of reinforce the fact that, okay, we're not crazy. We're in it together. We're not crazy. It's everybody else that's missing the point. So I feel like you have a connection here, a really strong connection with somebody. but there's a lot of rumors associated with it. There can also be a lot of, I don't want to say negativity, but I feel like if it's not handled well, it can lead to a lot of temptation, and it can lead to a lot of confusion as well. So this month, focus on your business. Focus on what you need to do. Trust your intuition this month. If you're getting an inkling that somebody is riding your coattails, if you're getting an inkling that somebody is just taking advantage of you, or they're, making promises that they can't keep, be mindful of the track record. So if that's like, the way that they interact with you, or they interact with other people in their field, be mindful of it and just don't get involved in it, okay? You have people that are on your side that will really, really help you move ahead. And so rely on that, okay? So keep yourself very, very focused this month and try your best to, steer away from gossip and rumors and confusion. Trust your intuition and go with it, okay?